Welcome friends, welcome to solveproc.com. In this video, we are going to install Apache server, which we are going to use it for PHP script. So PHP is a programming language where it runs on the server, and basically we are going to develop some dynamic content, dynamic web pages where all the information you are gathering, where all the informations are going to change by itself. So basically we are just going to use some logics, some concepts based on, so basically OPS is object oriented programming language, and this is a concept where there is a need to learn the latest technique to make your code more secure. So let's get started. So I'm going to teach you how we are going to install server on our local machine, basically on our laptop or PC. Then we are going to run our PHP script, first PHP script, how we are going to learn, and everything step by step we are going to go through. So if you are a new beginner to learn PHP, this is a good YouTube channel to get started with. And I am Sagar Kalyan, who is going to be your instructor to teach you each and every concept. If you feel anything confused or something you want to ask, you can ask me through comments. So basically you just comment down and I will reply to it. So let's get started with it. First of all, I would like to tell you about PHP. PHP is a server scripting language in which we are going to create a powerful tool for making dynamic and interactive web pages. It is widely used to create websites. If you see lots of websites on Google, if you search for any particular keyword, you will find out so many websites coming up based on that searches. And basically if you look at the overall view of web pages, so most of these sites are developed in PHP, and most of the developers who are creating those websites, they are independently running those websites. So basically you are going to learn how to install it. It is free of cost, no charges, nothing, just install on the system. And one thing I would like to include is there is another programming, ASP.NET. If you have heard of ASP.NET, ASP.NET is a programming language by Microsoft in which you need to buy some certain softwares to run this particular programming, and you can learn that as well. So basically we are going to learn in this tutorial PHP, and I'm getting started with PHP because it's free, no charges at all, and everything we are going to get results like what we want to create, what we want to build, something like that. If we want to create a social networking website, if we want to create a simple blogging platform, if we want to create a social media platform where people can connect. So there are lots of ideas coming through, and we are going to create based on that some projects. And basically I am going to get started with installation. So there are lots of software servers which we can install. For example, if you are using Linux is another operating system where you will need to install LAMP. Or Mac, if you are using Mac, you need to install MAMP. Even for Windows, you can also install MAMP. But for Windows, I'm going to recommend you to use XAMPP. So this is the most commonly used server on the local machine by any developer, by any newcomer who as a beginner going to learn PHP, going to run PHP script on the system. So basically we are going to install this XAMPP. So how do we install it? Just simply type XAMPP on Google. You will find out the one at the top with download button. Just click on the download and you will find everything, the new version which has come out. So basically we are going to download the latest version, which if you look at over here, this is the most latest. If I see the version, so basically you can install any one of these versions into your system. So I would recommend you to install latest version because it's going to improve your programming skills. It's going to update your skills as well. Whenever there is a new version, you can install, upgrade the system on your PC or laptop. Just click on the download button and it will get started to install. Basically it's first downloads, and then we can click on the installation button and simply install. So basically once I have downloaded it, go to the folder in which it is downloaded. So I have this folder for exam. Basically double click on it and it will ask you to prompt. So it's going to show up a new screen where something like this is come up. So important because an activated user account control on your system, some functions of possibly restricted with avoid. Yeah, okay, click OK. Some restrictions may be applied, so we don't need to worry about that. We just simply install it by clicking next. We will find out these all things like our server, what's included into it. What's included into our server: Apache, MySQL, FileZilla, Mercury Mail server, Tomcat. So basically we are going to focus only two things: Apache and MySQL, and nothing else, right? And which programming language we can use into Apache server: PHP and Perl. Perl is another programming which you can learn through Apache server. So you don't need to worry anything else. Just click next, and this is the location where your server is going to get installed. So basically I'm going to change the location of this. Recommend you to install somewhere where you need to install the software, right? So over here I'm going to use PHP and I'm going to select this folder. Inside this folder I'm going to install my Apache server and click next, and just move next and click next. And basically I have installed this means that I have installed Apache on my system. And just close the window and click next. Now it's getting started to install all the functionality. So basically the files are compressed, so it's going to uncompress and install all the files, all the folders inside that particular directory. So basically we need to wait for some time. It's about to get installed. If you are seeing this bar, green bar, it's just going to get completed, and we are about to get started with our first PHP script. So basically we are going to learn to display some statements, some data on the screen on the web browser. So it's going to be a very simple program. This can be a hello world program, right? So if you are used to some other programming like C++, Java, if you have learned those programming, some basic fundamentals, then it will be very much easier to learn this programming. If you are not used to it, but still you can learn this programming. There is no hard or something that you may be confused. So we have just completed our setup. Now we are going to finish it, and basically it shows us the control panel, XAMPP control panel. So basically over here, if you see these options, this is the module we get over here: Apache, MySQL, FileZilla. FileZilla is basically where we connect to the own server. Like we connect to the server where we want to upload our file. For example, if you are using some basic WordPress website or another PHP application where you want to host, like on the godaddy.com or name.com, there are so many hosting providers where you want to host those files onto. So basically you are going to use FileZilla for that, right? Mercury, Tomcat, we are not going to use it over here. We are just simply going to use Apache MySQL. So one thing that you need to make sure before starting our server is start, click on start and click on start and give them allow access. Give them allow access, right? So it's going to get started. And if I stop it, then it's not going to get started. Basically, how do we know, like, is it really started or is it stopped? So we need to just press these two buttons, start, and come on our browser, get back to the browser, and over here you are going to type the localhost and simply click enter, and you will find this page. This page is running on the web server or on the server. This page is running on the server. Basically, this is the XAMPP server page, web page by default that comes up after the installation. So you will get to know like this is really working, right? There is another way to check whether MySQL is working or not. So there is a button PHP MyAdmin. Click on this and you will find out this screen. Over here, the server IP you will get over here is 127.0.0.1. So if you just over here type it the same IP, you will get the same page with the local host. If you type the local host, you will get the similar page as that. So basically this is a simple server application which we have installed, and now we are going to get started with our PHP script. So basically we are going to run our first PHP script. So how do we do that? If you are confused anything about this, basically you can go to solveprog.com, search on PHP install over here, and you will find a post related to the installation. You'll get step-by-step procedure to install PHP on your system, so you can follow every step and install. So now we are going to run our PHP script. How do we run our PHP script for the first time? So if you have installed editor, if you have installed any code editor, like I am using Atom, over here I have not installed yet. So VS Code can be another alternative for the code editor. Basically, I'm going to use Visual Studio Code, where I'm going to run our first PHP script. And over here, what we are going to do first is open our folder where we need to run PHP script. So you need to remember one thing for sure, that you have to go to the particular installation where you installed your server. You need to go to that particular path. So in order to go there, you need to search for local drive, users. I have my username, and over here if you see PHP folder, inside this PHP folder I have these files. So basically htdocs is the folder where you need to run your PHP script. Over here I'm going to create new folder, and this folder is going to be my PHP, something like that, or I should write simply PHP. I will write simply PHP. Inside this I'm going to create new folder. So in order to create new folder, what I will do is over here there is the option to create new file, and over here hello.php. With this you have already created a file inside PHP folder. If you go to that particular folder over here inside htdocs and PHP, you will find the same file as into the code editor. So there is another way to create new file is notepad plus or notepad. You are going to just click on file, save as, and go to that particular folder where you are going to install PHP script. So over here I'm going to type the name of the script. So PHP script is another file name that I'm going to type, and with .php. This .php will indicate that we are going to create a PHP file. So you need to make sure there is a .php at the end of each file name. So over here when you save it, it will create a new file over here, PHP script, and over here as well you can see the PHP script.php. So I'm going to delete one of the file. So I'm going to delete PHP script.php, and we are going to run our first PHP script over here. So how do we do it that? So there is a basic syntax for running PHP. You need to make sure you are always starting your PHP script or whatever command you will do, whatever command you put in. So you need to make sure you put inside these two tags. So I will say these two tags are like this: opening bracket, opening angle bracket, question mark, and PHP, right? PHP. So this will indicate you that you have written a PHP script. At the end, when you are finishing your every code, PHP code, so you need to make sure that you are closing this tag as well to make sure everything is. So basically this will indicate that you have a compact PHP script inside that particular file. You can create more than one tags. So you can create more than one tags inside a file. So basically you can write multiple commands inside that, and basically you can just run the script, right? So our first task will be to run hello world program. For that we need to type echo double question, if you see double quotes, and just type hello world, and after writing the statement, whatever statement you write, just put question semicolon to make sure that statement is terminated or it is finished. So basically it will tell the PHP file to run this script, and the script will be running on the web browser. If you go to the path over here, if you right click on it and open with browser, so I'm going to choose Firefox or Chrome. I will recommend you to choose Firefox because it will generate a file without cache memory. Like there will be no issue of the old content that is running on your browser. So basically you are going to get updated content and updated info through the web browser. So if you are running this script, basically you will find out there is no output and you have run the PHP script over here. But now you need to make sure that you are going to write localhost on the URL. So over here, if you check out this, when we are starting with the htdocs, like over here htdocs is written, you just need to vanish away, just remove that link htdocs, and just write over here localhost or 127.0.0.1. This will indicate that you are going to run your script on the server. So basically this is the IP address or IP location where the server is running right now. So if I click enter, now our PHP script is going to run. So we are getting the result. If you check out this web page and if you check out the result, hello world comes up. So basically this is our first program. Congratulations. This is going to get started with your PHP script, and you are going to learn lots of things through this programming language, through this YouTube channel. So now we are going to get more out of it. Basically there is another way to print out the output. So over here we are going to write welcome to PHP script. So now I'm going to close it and just run it again. Let's see how does it do. So it also runs well, right? So there is another method to use the print function over here for PHP, but I will recommend you to use echo because it's going to save your memory of the web page. It's going to save a lot of things. It's going to run faster as compared to print function. So I would recommend you to use echo. as your output statement for PHP. So this is going to be very useful video for all the new beginners if you are learning PHP. So basically, instead of localhost, you can also type 127.0.0.1. You get the same output like this. So basically, you need to learn this simple basic fundamentals over here to learn PHP and run our script for the first time. And I would recommend you to install Visual Studio Code. If you haven't yet installed, you can similarly find out my website solveprog.com. Go to my website solveprog.com and over here type VS. So you will find Visual Studio. Simply type Visual Studio Code over here. Visual Studio Code will appear, and this is a post related to the installation. You can install Visual Studio Code editor as well as you can install Atom. So there is another code editor for developers to run PHP or any language, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, whatever you want. So you can download and install into your system. So basically this is a simple programming video in which I have taught you about installation of Apache server. You have run PHP script for the first time. You are familiar to the IP of localhost. So by default we are using 127.0.0.1, and this is our basic the first web page which we get from the server. And there is another MySQL PHP myadmin panel where we are going to create new database, new tables, and store our data into this system. So this is going to be more fun in the upcoming videos, upcoming lectures, upcoming so many varieties of videos. So basically you are going to learn a lot from my videos. And subscribe my YouTube channel if you have learned so much from this video. And that's all I want to say for now. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you liked it.